Bitcoins and beer, Bitcoins and beer. Here is Norm, he's a storm as he screams and rages and rants. He is here drinking beer, spilling Bitcoins on his pants. Hello. It's me, Norm, again. Here once again to drink beer and rant about Bitcoins. And today's beer is an old favorite. We've all seen it once before, or twice, or maybe three times. Depends on how many times you watch my videos. Racer 5 from Northern California, Bear Republic Brewery. Santa Rosa, I believe. No, I don't know. It's somewhere up there. Way up north from me. 400 or 500 miles. I know you on the East Coast can't believe there's some place in the same state as me, 400 or 500 miles away. My sister lives 800 miles away from me. She lives in the same state. I don't even live at the border. But, yeah, she lives at the border. Racer 5, wonderful beer. If you've not tried it, please do. Starship Enterprise opener, of course. Always the best. Wonderful beer. I've had quite a few beers tonight, so this rant should be extra special good. So, today, the price of Bitcoin at this moment, and you aren't going to believe this since my last rant, because it is actually quite higher, 413.2. Very volatile, right? Then again, so is the stock market. So today the big news is finally they may have really found the real Satoshi Nakamoto. And I have to tell you, there's some pretty compelling evidence saying that they might have. First of all, it was reported by Wired and not Newsweek. More credible news source. Second of all, the way he was caught was trying to fulfill a trust of the pre-mined Bitcoins that everybody thought the keys were lost or whatever. And guess what? He's Australian. He's not even American, for God's sake. Everybody thought he was like... I've heard stories. He was Japanese. He was from Italy. He's from America. Like Dori Nakamoto. The guy that got unwanted fame for being Satoshi Nakamoto, because that was his middle name. But, you know... yeah, whatever. That's the way things work. So, the price of Bitcoins is rising. Why, you may ask? Okay, I'm only forecasting and theorizing here. Like a weatherman, I'm not like a Swami with a turban or whatever. Looking into a crystal ball, telling the future. But the stock market is also very volatile, much like Bitcoin. But a lot of people are believing the stock market is kind of rigged now. And you know, I've said bad things about fractional reserve banking and Keynesian economics, which... tell you the truth, they both aren't bad things. They're very good things, actually, if you do them correctly, without corruption or cooking the books. And one thing that Bitcoin eliminated was the ability to cook the books. It's accounting. It's basically accounting. You have a ledger, which is the blockchain. That's your ledger. But you're physically unable to fudge the numbers because of a computer code that will not let you. They tried to fix this before with there was a program made by Sage software, Mass 90, which is accounting software. I've worked with it before. You couldn't cook the books with that. So, basically, they figured out a way. Like they did in the old-fashioned days. When you had paper books where you couldn't cook the books unless you did in pencil and you erased it. But you start two sets of books. So they start two chains. You can't do this with Bitcoin. You can't split the chain and start two chains. They start two chains and they just go to the other chain. It's how Sage or Mass 90 did it. Yeah. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. You cannot cheat. Because people all around the world has this ledger. You can't fork it. You cannot duplicate it. Unless you have over 51%. And considering this ledger is a majority of the internet now, it's going to be next to impossible to do that. I wouldn't say impossible. I guess if you had enough funds, you could do it. But it probably costs you more than it would make you. So you might as well just make the money honestly instead of it'd be like spending $10 to counterfeit a $5 bill. Seriously. To do it at this point. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know why people are fighting it. To tell you the truth. Well, I do. Because they can't cheat. And if they can't cheat, they won't play. And the people making money off of you, off of us, off of the public, they don't want to play fair. Because if they play fair, they'd be just like another working slob like us. Being honest. They don't want to be honest. They want to take our money dishonestly. Watch The Wolf of Wall Street. He says it. In that movie. He thinks that we can't spend our money correctly, so he'll spend it for us. On his big houses and Lamborghinis and whatever. He'll spend it now, so we can't save it to spend it later. What a load of bullshit. Seriously. They made it so we can't save our money to spend it later. Even though this economy is in an inflationary place where when we save our money, I remember when you used to be able to buy a jar of peanut butter for under $1. You used to be able to buy a loaf of bread for under $1. What is it for a loaf of bread now? $1 for the cheap stuff if you're lucky. $2, $3 for a jar of peanut butter, for a loaf of bread. That was only a couple of years ago that you can buy that stuff for under $1. It's doubled. The value of our dollar. You don't understand the value of our dollar. What you're paying for is not what you're receiving anymore. I don't know. I'm drunk. Maybe you don't understand this. I don't care. But all I'm saying is, Satoshi saved is Satoshi earned. And pretty soon that Satoshi is going to be worth a lot more than what you think it is. Cheers.